What's up, everybody? Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on the Space Engineers Inspiration series. We're starting things off today with the MCRN TACHI. I think that's what I'm gonna go with for how it's pronounced, who knows. This is a ship from the Expanse, I believe, according to the description, and most notably from the description, the main ship from the Expanse, I believe. But I haven't exactly seen it yet, so I can't say. I know that always gets me, like at least 3 or 4 comments that are, you need to go watch that like right now. It's on my to-do list. But yeah, so we're actually starting in spectator mode here because the ship is actually in a world file, which I feel very dumb for it taking me so long to realize that it was in a world file. I kept trying to load it through the blueprints, couldn't figure out why, and then noticed in the description, or in the comments of the description, that it was a world file, and I was like, it is a world file. Now I feel stupid. So I wanted to point that out for anybody that was having trouble with it. It does have a few mods, but most of them are to get some of the DLC blocks onto a small grid, not really to add new blocks or anything like that, so there's that. Obviously, having not seen the show, I can't really speak to its accuracy, though some of the comments on the workshop file have said it's pretty darn accurate. But I really have to praise the level of detail in it. I will say that does seem to happen a lot with builds that are based on something from a show, probably because there's a framework to work with. But it does seem like there's a lot of times where if it's based on a show or something that the detail level is really high. But this one actually looks really good. I do like it, especially without even knowing what it's supposed to look like. It just looks really cool. Now, because this is a world file, you actually start inside the ship, so I wanted to give a little bit of a exterior overview first, and then we'll tab out of the spectator mode, though. Unlike, as if I was acting like a smart person, I could have just, turned around and went outside. But, then that would have dealt with, I'm letting air out. I would have had to find the door, which is very clearly marked for once. Anyway, the point is, you start here. I also have to give a lot of credit to this for some of the custom LCD... I'm not sure what you would call it. I guess textures, images, or whatever, display textures, because it actually has some really cool layouts and stuff for it. What is this little guy here? The Corvette Tachi. So, ship plan. Floor 3, kitchen, cockpit, and exit 2. Floor 2 is command room. Floor 1, armory, storage. 0 is main exit conveyor access. So, I'm going to assume that we're at floor 0? But I also really like the use of the different textures and things. Like having I'm not really sure what texture this is, but it could either be the used battered one, or it may just be the heavy steel, or I forget what texture it is, but combining it with the carbon fiber and stuff adds another layer of depth that I really need to work at, because I think that's cool. What in the world? I can't go up or down on the ladder. Alright, we're just gonna fly up here the old-fashioned way. So we've got the armory lockers and stuff, obviously. Now, as I mentioned, there are mods here to add the larger blocks to the small grid, so you are gonna be seeing that. I like this. This is kind of cool. A little button prompt thing. That's pretty neat. Even though it's not functional. Though it does make me wonder if you could make something like that functional with a script, but I digress. That's a topic for a different video. You can delete this panel after reading it, but we're not going to. Read it carefully. You all got that, right? Okay, let's move. This is about how I usually do the descriptions. Main thrusters, 3 commands, pilot, on, off, 7, 8, 9, okay, cool. That's usually how I go through descriptions, is I kind of just glean for all the important things and then usually miss half of them. But yeah, so there's special commands which will improve stability and stuff like that, but we'll just kind of look over the hotbar and do the just kind of test out method for figuring this out. We got another button panel here, and then this looks like it's probably going to open something. Man, the only thing I will say is I feel like I'm getting hung up on everything, and that's one downside to small grids, is they're kind of cramped. But, oh. Why would the button be over here? Anyway, moving right along. Emergency lights. Ooh! I like that. That's cool. We got a cool readout here. And I'm guessing these are all the different flight seats that it was referenced in the description. There's like a comms, a thruster, a weapons, and a pilot. And I thought there was another one. Oh, yep, there it is. So it's up here. Alright, and then this is... what? Reactors overall request code accident. Self-destruction. That's probably something I shouldn't push the button. Kind of want to, but we should at least wait for it to be last. Alright, so we've got kind of an interesting situation. Now, again, this is based on... oh, there's the main cockpit. Okay, I was going to say, I was like, it said main cockpit was up here, but this is based on an actual design already, so, you know, I'm not going to blame the builder or anything if there's any weird design ideas. That's more of the show's ship designer. But yeah, it's like having an entrance right here, a little odd to me, with like a seating and kitchenette type thing, and then you got a cockpit. It's kind of an odd place to put it, but again, it's going off of the ship design, so sure, why not? I'm guessing this is going to be weapons. Remote control. Yeah, this looks like weapons. So front, PDC deployment, something decoy maybe? I'm not sure what PDC stands for. Rocket and Gatling turrets, or Gatling guns, comms beacon, thrusters. Oh, this is an Epstein drive. I'm assuming this is in world, like in the Expanse world, that's a thing. Never heard of it myself, so I'm guessing. I'm assuming that has something to do with the, Oop, I hit a button. I didn't mean to hit that. What'd I do? There's a lot of rattling going on. Maybe if I hit the button again? Okay. Oh, okay, so it's the turrets. Interesting. I don't know why they were making all that rattling sound, but that's weird. Okay, and that's going to be the nose guns. And then we've got rockets right there. Okay. And it's also a little bit odd that it's a vertical... It took me a minute to realize that it's a vertical, aligned interior and a horizontal flying ship. So that was a little weird. And then this is turrets, I'm gonna say. So that's the other deployment. I wonder if that deploys these other ones back here. Nope. Still the same ones. Alright, rotor gunner seat. Oh, okay. Okay. That's cool. And then we've got... I'm guessing these are controls. Yeah, okay. So we can control those. Ooh. This is a weird looking missile turret thing. Where are you? Oh, I didn't see that one. Oh, there it is. No, that's a gun turret. Where's the missile one? Oh, right there. There we go, down on the bottom. Oh, it's one of the small grid ones. That's why it confused me. Okay, I was thinking of the image that they use in the hotbar there. Okay, so there's that. This one looks like another weapons control. We're not going to bother with that. What we've got here, thruster control, I'm guessing. So the Epstein drives, fuel stockpile, booster, reactor controls, self-destruct. Everything has a self-destruct button on it. I feel like that's not good. And then there's 2 missing ones, but I don't know what that's for. Obviously, they're missing. Let's see. And then this looks like comms. We've got our ore detectors, antennas, beacons, and various cameras. So that's pretty cool. I do like the layout of the ship interior, anyway, overall. And I particularly really like the use of multi textures to give it more depth. Like even this, it's kind of like you've got the same blocks, really. I mean, obviously they've got LCD screens on there, but even without that, it's basically just small grid squares, but they've done like 3 different colors and textures here to give it a lot of different depth. And that's something that, like I said, I myself don't use enough of, and I don't think a lot of other builders do either in terms of how much more of a difference that can make. Alright, we've got the main cockpit here. Epstein controls, turn thrusters on off with 7. Increase thrust, decrease thrust with 8 and 9. Okay. And what is this? Front PDC. Increased maneuverability, reduces ship stability. Okay, so this is that one thing that it was talking about where you can add... I'm not really sure what this is doing. Maybe messing with the gyroscope controls or something. I'm not really sure what that's actually gonna do, but... cameras, landing gear. It does have retractable landing gear, obviously. Lander separation. Ooh, okay. Let's give it a test flight first. Okay, so without the Epstein drive, which I'm gonna, again, I haven't seen the show, so I could be totally wrong, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that's kind of its version of a, not necessarily light speed, but kind of a high speed flight. That would be my guess. If we turn that on, now it looks like it's set in override mode, so it's just going to kind of boost at a speed. I'm not really holding the W key or anything like that. So obviously with acceleration, with that in mind, it accelerates pretty quickly, and turns actually really good. It's a nice nimble little ship, so that's pretty cool. And let's see, we've got the rockets there. Got the chain guns there. What was the other thing I was gonna mess with? Oh, here we go. I'm curious about the lander separation, so let's actually try that. Oh, okay, cool. Not cool, but, you know, the idea is cool. So that's kind of got a, an actual, like, NASA feel to it, where you have, like, staging type of thing. That's pretty sweet. I like stuff like that. That's really cool. In real survival, it's kind of tough to want to use that because you're wasting resources in some extent, but it's cool in a design idea. I really like that. All right. So I think that's going to do it for this one. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so next up we have the... Oh, Lord. I know I'm going to pronounce this wrong. Heidkamp? Heidkamp? Yeah, you guys can see it on the ship right there. Yeah, I don't know how you're supposed to say that. I think it's like Heidkamp, but I'm fairly positive that it's a German word. So, I mean, given the, you know, insignia on the ship, so I'm gonna assume that I'm saying it wrong. This is actually a pretty cool ship. It's kind of like a space zeppelin, if that's a thing, and I thought it was really cool. Partially, more than likely due to the fact that I've been going back and rewatching Fringe, so the zeppelin thing is kind of, for those of you that have seen it, you'll get it. For those of you that haven't, well, Zeppelins end up becoming a thing. So anyways, it's the Heidkamp Destroyer. I'm going to stop saying the name because I've probably said it about 6 different ways and probably all of them are wrong. So it's a destroyer class ship, obviously. But yeah, I believe it also has a jump drive as well, so it's also capable of FTL, I think, as long as I'm not getting that mixed up with another build. This one is actually purely vanilla, as far as I don't even think it lists any of the DLCs or anything either. So I was actually pretty impressed when I read that to see that there was wording here. And then as I got closer to it, I was like, oh, okay, they're actually doing, you know, like small blocks to make the letters and stuff. But at first glance, I was like, wait, how does this not have? So that's pretty cool. Kudos to the builder for that. It actually in the description mentions that I believe there's like 7 subgrids or something. And I believe it also says they're not required. So kind of bear that in mind as far as if you needed to change it, or maybe for server issues, couldn't have that many subgrids or something, you can change them. What? Was that an automatic door that did not try to impale me and smush my face? I feel like it is. I feel like that's an actually functional automatic door. Cool. I've been looking for one of those. Alright, so we've got, I'm gonna say, war room type situation going on here. Because it looks kind of like a conference table, a conference room type of thing. Again, this goes back a little bit to the old school way we used to do things before a lot of the DLC blocks added, like, here's a kitchen, here's a this. Because back in those original builds where you just kind of made stuff up, you kind of had to guess. Really? Alright, it's just some doors. Okay. So we got, this is probably the main bridge, because usually on a Zeppelin they were down below. So I'm guessing this is the main bridge. Other than stuff like this, I'm gonna have a hard time figuring out what these are for, as I'm not very fluent in German. As in virtually not at all. I feel like not... That one opens. Okay. I'm gonna give the... well, I was gonna give the builder the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna say that this is a security measure, right? That it's, you know... That I don't get it. No, I give up. I don't know why the doors are being temperamental. I'm gonna say it's me. Like, some of them, they're just, like, messing with me. They're like, maybe, maybe not. Do we want to open? I don't know. Let's screw with him. So obviously we've got our med bay here. I also like that, I don't know if there's an actual cargo room or not, but I kind of like that there's access to the different cargo things. Oh, this actually says medical. Okay. So there's supposed to be storage crates for the medical area. Cool. Alright, and kind of like what happens frequently when I'm showcasing things, this actually is a lot bigger on the interior than I would have thought, though I suppose... Oh, what is that? Oh, okay. Is this the actual main cockpit? Rocket launchers, camera weapons, antennas, jump drives, remote, ore detectors, turrets... pressurize the hangar. Okay, depressurize hangar, gyroscopes. I'm thinking this might be the main flight seat, because there's a lot of very different controls here. Let's say that's the main one for now. But no, what I started to say was, I was thinking this was a lot bigger interior than I expected it to be, but then I got thinking about it. Ooh, I like it. I love me an observatory room, especially over a reactor or something. That's really cool. Definitely a fan. Okay, one thing though is that... Alright, we are going to have to check that other one. I was going to say... I don't think we have to go in here, but it actually wraps around... Yeah, this is cool. I like that. It actually wraps around under here. And then goes this way to... Okay, the gravity generator. Interesting. I'm also... Ah, there they are. I was looking for the lights. I was like, this is way too well lit for just the reactor lights, and I couldn't find them. They're up here on these glass slopes. That's really cool. But yeah, I'm definitely thinking I like this a lot. I like a good observatory type floor, deck, room, whatever. where you've got these like glass overlooks. I think that's really cool. But what I started to say was that I was impressed with the spacious interior that this has, but then I kind of realized that although it's designed off of a Zeppelin, it's not a Zeppelin, so you don't need a huge blimp full of air, or hydrogen, or whatever they use to keep the thing floating, I forget. Helium? They didn't use helium, did they? Man, I feel bad now. Now I can't remember how they made those work. Anyway, you can't fill it up. You don't have to fill it up with gas, basically, is the bottom line. Whatever gas they use to keep a blimp floating, you don't have to fill it up with gas in a spaceship game. And this is actually a hangar here as well. We've got 2 side doors there. I believe it was this ship that mentioned that it could house 2 different fighters, I think, of a certain kind. I believe the builder had also done those. It was linked in the description. But yeah, it kind of took me a second to realize that I was like, that's probably why there's a little bit more of an interior going on than I originally thought, was because, you know, you don't actually have to have an empty balloon at the top. You can actually have a fill it up with a bunch of stuff. Now this is interesting. I'm guessing that there's 2 main bridge cockpits because we're seeing the same controls here. So I'm gonna say this is the main, and that one up there may be some sort of battle bridge or something. That's gonna be my assumption. That's what I'm going with. I also really like the spotlight effect here to make the thrusters look a certain way, especially for vanilla, since you're not doing DLC and mods. I think that's a cool way of making the thrusters look a certain color, even though that's probably not even where they are. They're probably way in those pods and not even anywhere close to them. But anyway, it actually accelerates pretty darn quick for the size of the ship. You would think it would be a little more on the sluggish side, but it accelerates and decelerates pretty quickly and actually moves very smoothly. Like, this is almost Corvette fighter maneuverability for a ship like this. This is crazy. This actually works really well. I'm impressed. The bigger the ship, the harder it is to make it move like that. Alright, so we've got 2 rocket pods in the front. And then we've got kind of a targeting camera here. Wondering if that's the missiles hitting each other, or if it's actually hitting something. Either way, probably shouldn't fire them while moving. Just a guess. I'm just gonna throw that one out there. What else do we have here? Pressurized, depressurized hangar. We don't really need to mess with that. Hydrogen thrusters. So there's not a whole lot else that we really need to mess with. So yeah, with that, I think that's going to do it for this one. So let's move on to the last one. Alrighty, and last but not least, we have the SAI Centaur. Now this is designed as a short mission attack corvette thing, based on what I'm reading from the description, not for prolonged engagements and blah 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 blah. But one thing that is apparent from the ship design is it's designed to go anywhere. It's listed in the description as such, and you can tell from the hydrogen, ion, and atmospheric thruster combination, and there are a lot of thrusters. But in some ways, I think it actually works in the ship's favor in terms of design. I think it actually makes it look kind of cool and crazy to have all of these thrusters everywhere. But I mean, there's a lot of thrusters as far as, like, the more I look at it, the more I'm kind of realizing it's predominantly the makeup of the hull is thrusters and gyroscopes. Now, the one thing that I personally am not sure about is in terms of if it's supposed to be a skirmish type vessel, why they're not more protected. I know that would add more armor and stuff to it. It just kind of seems like a vulnerability that if something strafed across the side here, you could lose a lot of propulsion and stuff in the ship. But then again, I don't do a whole lot of PvP stuff, so maybe it's got backup redundancies or whatnot. I do not know. But I'm a big fan of the overall look and design of the ship. I think it's really cool looking. I also like... Ooh, are these... Oh, does it have little, like, retractable rotor wheel things or something? Or is that just to cushion it for when it lands? It might just be to cushion it, but I was like, man, if those actually... Because I don't see the suspensions, they're just wheels. So I guess it wouldn't roll, it just kind of keeps it from crashing hard onto a surface. But still, that would be kind of cool too. So let's go ahead and give it a peek here. I'm guessing this is an airlock system. Okay, cool. Oh, it closes automatically. I was kind of trying to figure out if I needed to do anything or not. Airlock auto. This is obviously going to be the bridge, so let's go this way. Now this one is the reverse of the Zeppelin, where this one actually looked like, to me, it would have more of an interior. But then the more I started realizing how much of the exterior was all thrusters, I'm kind of realizing this kind of looks like it's going to be it. Like, this is the... Although, I will say, kudos for the light placement here. This is awesome. I'm guessing... So they put transparent LCD screens, but didn't finish them, so it looks more like a... I don't know, some kind of railing or bracket thing. And then they finished some of them so that you can get the cargo label, but then put corner interior lights on the bottom edge of those, and that's really clever because you get this really neat, and kind of the same thing up here, only they're attached to the reactors, it looks like, but you get this kind of neat glow on the floor rather than it being like shining right in your face kind of thing. So that's really cool. I really like that. I am a little annoyed that there was no way to put a a gravity generator in here, so I don't have to deal with the stupid mag boots, but that's a minor gripe, I suppose. Airlock manual, pressurize and depressurize. I suppose that's for, you know, if you had an issue or anything. Got med kits here in the very small container. That's cool. And then we got this really cool bridge. I really love this bridge. Not just because there's glass. I mean, it's a contributing factor, but it's not just because of that. It's also got a lot of LCD screens with a lot of different instructions that I can't really read. So I guess it's more for when you're in this seat you can read them. To leave atmosphere with gravity, 16 or 1G or 16. No, not 16 Gs, 1G or more. Use vertical thrusters. Intermittently activate or active hydrogen from 5,000 meters to 15.5. Hydro front camera, Gatling rocket, antenna, weaponry, turret, and parachute. So I'm gonna say this, if that's this seat. Yeah, hydro blocks, blah blah blah. So I'm gonna say this is kind of your weapons type seat, unless this is the same. Hydro stockpile, projector beacon, hydro ion. So this is thruster control, essentially, and communications. Well, no, hold on. No, they're all the same. Okay, they're all the same, I think. It was listing bar 1 and 2. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Hydro, ion, atmo, front light, exterior, landing light, connector, landing gear, hydrogen stockpile, projector beacon, airlock. So you really don't have to mess with a lot of these. They're kind of just there for utility and for flying, but we're not really transitioning atmospheres or anything like that. Man, does that look cool with the new ion thrusters, though. That looks cool. I still don't understand why they didn't upgrade the hydrogen ones. They did the atmosphere and the ions, and then just completely neglected the hydro thrusters, and I have no idea why. If you're gonna go through the effort, I feel like they should add the hydrogen ones and just make it a free update for people that got the Sparks of the Future one, because I see no reason why that shouldn't have been included. But whatever. But holy crap at the maneuverability of this thing. Good grief. So, yeah, this thing is nuts when it comes to flying and turning and stuff. Whew. Oh wow, it has more guns on it than I thought. Was it got 4? 6. No, 8. I can count. 8. I miscounted the 2 on the butt. Shut up. Leave me alone. It has 8. 8 chain guns on it, which is very cool. I think... Nope, I was gonna say I think I counted 3, but there's 3 on the bottom. And then there are 1 on each side, so 5 total. I'm gonna guess. There's too much smoke, I can't make out the trails. I think it's 5. But yeah, so it definitely has some firepower on it. I didn't see... Does it have turrets on it? It has 1 on the top there. Let's roll it into the sun so I can... Has 2 on the top there. I cannot count weaponry today. Leave me alone. So I'm seeing 2 chain gun turrets on the top, so you do have some turrets, which would probably help for... Oh, 1 on the bottom. Missed that one. Leave me alone. So yeah, I really like the maneuverability and stuff of this ship. This thing is... It's labeled as like a Corvette, but this thing moves like a fighter, which is nuts. I mean, any ship you can get dizzy flying, I feel like has fighter maneuverability. But anyway, with that, I think we're going to wrap up this episode here for today. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I will see you all next time. Peace.